Should you quit your job? Right up front, let's reframe that question. Rather than asking, should I quit my job? I would recommend that you ask yourself, how risky is it for me to stay? How risky is it for me to stay in my current job? If I stay, will that negatively or positively impact my chances of actually changing career or starting my own business? That's really what it comes down to. So in this video, I'll share 3 classic scenarios with you so you can self-diagnose and make the right decision. Here's the good news. Nobody has to quit their job in order to start their career change or start their own business on the side. Because remember, a career transition is a process. It is not an event, so it takes time. So there's no excuses. Everybody can get started, but let's make sure you're in the best scenario for doing it. My name is Rikke Hansen from Rikke.me. I quit my job for American investment banks. I used to work in HR. I quit my job back in 2005. And ever since then, through Rikke.me, my online career change consultancy, I've advised hundreds of people as to whether they should quit their job. But more importantly, I help them design, test, and launch amazing careers and amazing businesses. So what I'll share with you in this video is what works in the real world when it comes to how to decide when to quit your job, especially in a world where we still need to make money and have bills to pay. So no pie in the sky. What I'm sharing with you here is what works. The 3 scenarios I want to share with you now are the ones I most often come across. So there is a toxic scenario, there is the doable scenario, and there's the hair on fire scenario. And I'll explain all of them step by step. So the first job scenario is the toxic job scenario. And this is you if right now you're in a job where you're either physically ill or psychologically totally burned out. So I see this a lot in a lot of corporate professions. You work all hours of the day, there's a toxic culture, you might even be bullied, you might not fit in. Everything resulting in you being totally exhausted, having no mind space or energy for making any progress on the side, on your career change or on your business. And if you're really honest, even if you weren't changing careers, you probably shouldn't be staying in a toxic job like that because it's slowly killing you, right? So in that scenario, yes, you do need to quit that job, but not in the way you think, unless you're a millionaire. So what I generally recommend is that you quit, but you quit to go to what I call a cash cow job. I've got a whole other video about the cash cow scenario. I'll link that below. But in short, the cash cow job is using your current profession to initially finance your career change or your first business. So it means that you look for a similar job in a similar industry, but a job that's going to allow you to find the mental space and also the time to change career or start your own business on the side. So that means that you quit that toxic job and you move to the cash cow job to buy that mental space, to buy your health back, and to buy the time to start on the side. That's very often what happens. I often get the emails from my clients saying, hey, Rikke, I quit my job to go to the cash cow job. So now I can focus a lot more. I know my career change is going to happen. I know my business on the side is going to happen. Nicola, a client that I worked with last year who did my online course, Your Career Change Map, and decided she wanted to start her own business in the health space. She worked, when we worked together initially, she was in a very toxic environment in a law firm. And she knew that if she stayed, that business was never going to happen. Together with me, we designed a plan for her how she could exit, and she found a job with less working hours, a lot less of a toxic culture. Maybe not something she would have gone for if she really wanted to make a career in law, but she didn't. She wanted to change. So she jumped to that cash cow job, and now she's starting her business on the side. And again, this is something I've seen with a lot of my clients. It's totally doable. She just comes to mind because it happened last week. So then there's also the second scenario, which is the doable scenario. And this is for you right now, you're in a job that even though you don't want to do that job anymore and you want to change career or start your own business, you can absolutely stay for a while because you are paid. It's not so crazy that you don't have time outside of work to focus on your business and career change. So no worries, you can stay. The one thing I would say is just make sure that you have the right mindset in 2 ways. And that is, be very, very careful with how you spend the time that you do have available outside of work. Be very clear about when you're going to work on your career change, when you're going to work on your business, and really be strict with yourself so you don't end up getting too comfortable. Comfort addiction is the enemy of career change, okay? And also secondly, Have the mindset of giving yourself a hard deadline as to when are you going to quit that job. So give yourself a deadline. So you know by when do you need to make enough money on the side, whether that's through your business or whether you saved up enough money so you can jump for the career change and then you can leave. That's how this works. This is one of the most common ones for my clients as well. So stay and test drive and build on the side and then jump. There's also a third scenario, because I know some of you are wondering where you're going to fit. And the third scenario is what I call the hair on fire scenario. This was the scenario I was in myself, and it's not necessarily something I recommend for legal reasons, but sometimes it's the only way for people. So the hair on fire scenario is very often what I see with the entrepreneurial types. You almost have this idea that even if you're in a job that's totally doable, or even if it's toxic, you have a window opportunity to go and start that business, to go make the career change. And it's now. You know, if you don't do it now, it's probably not going to happen. So you go for it. Your hair is on fire. You just need to go for it. Maybe that's the scenario you are in. If that's the case, which I sometimes see happen, just make sure you probably have some money saved up. Or if you don't, then make sure, especially those of you who are starting your first business, that you don't do vanity stuff. So don't fiddle too much with your pretty website or with your pretty Instagram photos or with your pretty postcards or business cards. Focus on stuff that makes money straight away. Focus on getting clients, focus on getting that product out there, getting some feedback on money-making activities. That's so important, so you don't end up wasting too much time not making money. I see this so much. I don't want that to happen to you. I want you to be successful and to make money. Also, it might be, the great thing about this scenario is that even if that doesn't work out first, you can always go back and get a cash cow scenario so you can continue going for what you want. So there you go. There is a scenario for everyone. So remember, the litmus test is really, how risky is it for you to stay? If you're in the toxic thing, you need to leave and get that cash cow job. If you're in a doable scenario, then you can stay for a while. If your hair on fire, you know what you need to do. So make that decision and let me know what you decide. If you need help deciding, that is pretty much a lot of what I do in my business. So come on over to rikke.me and I'll see you there.